Basho's narrow road to the deep north. Should anyone dare to write another poem on this, trying to add a sixth finger, Tenyi Yujin, for the head priest of the temple. Now at last he made up his mind to go home, having composed a number of beautiful poems on the views we had enjoyed together. As I said goodbye to him, I wrote poem. Farewell, my old fan, having scribbled on it, what can I do but tear it at the end of summer? Making a detour of about 1.5 miles from the town of Matsuoka, I went to the Yohiji temple. I thought it was nothing short of a miracle that the priest Dogen had chosen such a secluded place for the site of the temple. The distance to the city of Fukiai was only 3 miles. Leaving the temple after supper, however, I had to walk along the darkening road with uncertain steps. There was in this city a poet named Tosei, whom I had seen in Edo some 10 years before. Now knowing whether he was already dead or still keeping his bare skin and bones, I went to see him, directed by a man whom I happened to meet on the road. When I came upon a humble cottage in a back street separated from other houses by a screen of moonflowers and creeping gourds and a thicket of coxcomb and goosefoot left to grow in front, I knew it was my friend's house. As I knocked at the door, a sad-looking woman peeped out and asked me whether I was a priest and where I had come from. She then told me that the master of the house had gone to a certain place in town and that I had better see him there if I wanted to talk to him. By the look of this woman, I guessed her to be my friend's wife and felt not a little tickled, remembering a similar house and a similar story in an old book of tales. Finding my friend at last, I spent 2 nights with him. I left his house, however, on the 3rd day, for I wanted to see the full moon of autumn at the port town of Suruga. Tosei decided to accompany me and walked into the road in high spirits, with the tails of his kimono tucked up in a somewhat strange way. The white peak of Mount Shirani went out of sight at long last, and the imposing figure of Mount Hina came in its stead. I crossed the bridge of Asamuji and saw the famous reeds of Tame already coming into flower. Through the barrier gate of Ugiyasu in the pass of Yuno, I came to the castle of Hiachi, and hearing the cries of the early geese at the hill named Homecoming, I entered the port of Suruga on the night of the 14th. The sky was clear and the moon was unusually bright. I said to the host of my inn, I hope it will be like this again tomorrow night when the full moon rises. He answered, however, the weather of these northern districts is so changeable that even with my experience it's impossible to foretell the sky of tomorrow. After a pleasant conversation with him over a bottle of wine, we went to the Maojin shrine of Ki, built to the honor of the soul of the emperor of Chue. The air of the shrine was hushed with the silence of night, and the moon, through the dark needles of pine, shone brilliantly upon the white sand in front of the altar, so that the ground seemed to have been covered with early frost. The host told me that it was the bishop, Yukio, too, who had first cut the grass, brought in sand and stones, and then dried the marshes around the shrine for the benefit of the worshippers, and that ever since it was the custom for the successors of the great bishop to bring a handful of sand upon the occasion of their visit to the shrine, the ritual being known as the sand-carrying ceremony of Yugyo. Poem. The moon was bright and divinely pure upon the sand brought in by the bishop Yugyo. It rained on the night of the 15th, just as the host of the Mayan had predicted. Poem. The changeable sky of the northern districts prevented me from seeing the full moon of autumn. It was again a fine day on the 16th. I went to the colored beach to pick up some pink shells. I sailed the distance of 7 miles in a boat and arrived at the beach in no time, aided by a favorable wind. A man by the name of Tenya accompanied me with servants, food, drinks, and everything else he could think of we might need for our excursion. The beach was dotted with a number of fishermen's cottages and a teeny temple. As I sat in the temple drinking warm tea and sake, I was overwhelmed by the loneliness of the evening scene. Poem. Lonelier, I thought, than the Suma beach, the closing of autumn on the sea before me. Mingled with teeny shells, I saw scattered petals of bush clovers rolling with the waves. I asked Toshe to make a summary of the day's happenings and leave it at the temple as a souvenir. As I returned to Suruga, Rotsu met me and accompanied me to the province of Mino. When we entered the city of Ogaki on horseback, Sora joined us again, having arrived from the province of Ishi. Etsujin too came hurrying on horseback, and we all went to the house of Joko, where I enjoyed reunion with Senjei, Kyoko and his sons, and many other old friends of mine who came to see me by day or by night. Everybody was overjoyed to see me, as if I had returned unexpectedly from the dead. On September the 6th, however, I left for the Ishi shrine. Sure, the fatigue of the long journey was still with me, for I wanted to see the dedication of a new shrine there. As I stepped onto a boat, I wrote, "As firmly cemented clamshells fall apart in autumn, so I must take to the road again. Farewell, my friends." Postscript. In this little boat of travel is included everything under the sky, not only that which is hoary and dry, but also that which is young and colorful, not only that which is strong and imposing, but also that which is feeble and ephemeral. As we turn every corner of the narrow road to the deep north, we sometimes stand up unawares to applaud, and we sometimes fall flat to resist the agonizing pains we feel in the depths of our hearts. There are also times when we feel like taking to the road ourselves, seizing the raincoat lying nearby, and times when we feel like sitting down till our legs take root. Enjoying the scene we picture before our eyes, such is the beauty of this little book that it can be compared to the pearls which are said to be made by the weeping mermaids in the far-off sea. What a travel it is indeed that is recorded in this book, and what a man he is who experienced it. The only thing to be regretted is that the author of this book, great man as he is, has in recent years grown old and infirm with hoary frost upon his eyebrows. Early summer of the 6th year of Kenroku Soru.
So the movie also for a traveler that did the traveled before him.
Is that the prior guy or him or who is it?
I think he's talking about somebody who wrote the book before him. And he's now old and he pays a very big price for that.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the back, the book here. The back of the book says, in his perfectly crafted haiku poems, Basho described the natural world in great simplicity and delicacy of feeling. When he composed the narrow road to the deep north, he was an ardent... They're talking about... What was the postscript?
The boat to go up north.
The boat?
Yeah.
Which one wears the boat?
Basho.
What boat? Well, he took many boats, didn't he?
And the very end, like a couple paragraphs at the end, where he takes the boat to go further north to be somewhere in September.
The boat. Yeah, that boat trip, and the whole thing is very beautiful. Huh? Yeah, those are famous bays and the springs. Here he goes to the hot springs. It's nice. The end. The end?
Yeah, the end, where he talks about that he had to take on board.
Oh. I don't know. What's the end? The very end? Oh, I stepped into a boat.
Yeah.
Okay, through a fatigue of a long journey was still with me, for I wanted to see the dedication of a new strain. As I stepped into a boat, I wrote, poem, as firmly cemented clamshells, all apart in autumn. So I must take to the road again. Farewell, my friends. Very good.
All the way to the end.
We just finished.